Bill, we're here on a ship that is anchored in, this is Tampa Bay, is it not?
This is Tampa Bay.
And what is the name of this ship?
The ship is the American Victory, the SS American Victory.
Well, now, most ships, I thought, were named after states, you know, like the USS Alabama and this and that. But this is a Victory. How do we get that name?
The American Victory is actually named after American universities. The class of ships were named after universities in other towns and countries that were in support of the war effort during the time.
I see. Okay. Tell us a little history behind this ship.
Well, the ship was built in 1945 in support of World War II. As you may recall, there were some difficulties getting shipping and cargo across the oceans to the troops. The original class, the Liberty class, were built and were sufficient. However, they were a little too slow and were targeted by U-boats and wolf packs that were hunting them down. So the idea for the Victory class was to build a stronger, faster ship that could take advantage of its speed to force the U-boats to surface in order to engage them. And largely, I would say the class was attributed with the victory of in World War II.
Okay, now it served for how long?
The ship's actually served in 3 wars: World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, the rebuilding of Europe, some other activities surrounding each war. However, the ship class itself, it served in the very tail end of World War II. This one in particular, June of 1945 was when it set sail. And it was setting sail for the invasion of Japan.
A very advanced ship at that time?
I would say it was slightly more advanced, mostly in terms of propulsion and in terms of the strength of the ship. Not so much of of other types of ship at the time, but of other cargo ships at the time.
So it mainly had cargo as its responsibility?
It was a cargo vessel.
A cargo completely, a troop not.
This particular vessel was cargo only. Other ships were outfitted as troop carriers.
Okay, now is it as large as what we see in the USS category or not?
Depending on the class of ship, yes. This ship's about 455 feet long, 62-foot beam, got about a 28-foot draft fully loaded.
How many in the crew would it carry?
Depended, again, what time frame you're talking about. Early in its career, it had about 62. Over time, as advanced cargo handling and personnel pier side would take care of activities, it would go down as low as 24.
Where was it built?
In Los Angeles, California.
And we got it here in Tampa?
About 10 years ago, in 1999, it was towed into Tampa by some of our supporters in the local maritime community. And since then, it's been reactivated and does a number of cruises, usually twice a year.
Oh, it does sail?
The ship is fully operational. It's one of 4 operational World War II cargo ships in the United States.
I mean, that surprises me because a lot of the ships that are now anchored are permanently anchored.
That's correct, and we are moored, not anchored, but we are pierside here behind the Florida Aquarium. We try to get underway twice a year. We do have requirements for dry docking and whatnot that might hold that up from time to time, but twice a year, fully operational, brought and restored by the volunteer crew with help by our friends again in the maritime community in Tampa Bay. But it's a great act that we're able to bring this thing back to life.
I mean, do any of the people in the area, you know, all of a sudden there's no ship here when you go out on your cruise, and they say, "Where did it go?" We
get a lot of that. We'll be steaming out in the bay, and we get a lot of small boaters that come right up to us and wonder what's going on. Yeah, it's really neat when you see her get underway.
Is it a difficult process, or is it very easy, or what?
It's intensive, but we got a crew that works long and hard to keep her up and running, so we're always ready to steam. We got a great chief engineer. We got some great engineers down below. Our whole crew keeps the top side things up and running smoothly. It's just, except with the routine perhaps that some of the others go through, we're ready to get underway at any time.
Well, now, when you talk about these cruises, can I call it a cruise?
Sure.
Is that what? Because I got my mooring and my anchoring all mixed up.
Absolutely, cruise is good. Cruise is good.
Cruise is good. Okay. When you do that, are the general public allowed to come along?
Absolutely. We usually have anywhere from 500 to 650 passengers on board. Usually somewhere around 100 crew members. We get licensed mariners to come aboard and fill certain key positions that our volunteers can't for one reason or another. But yeah, absolutely, we make it a great time.
And where do you go? Just in the bay?
We generally go in the bay, sometimes just to the bridge or just beyond the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. And we'll have a number of events on board. We'll have live entertainment. We'll have reenactments. We'll do a lot of ceremonies. We will have flyovers, and we'll have other naval ships or Coast Guard ships will sometimes join us to give us some activity down there. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the ship and how people can get more information on it and the hours of operation.
We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. We do a lot of special events from time to time, so you can always check us on the web at www.americanvictory.org. That's .org. And we are always open for educational opportunities, training opportunities for firefighters or drug and bomb sniffing dogs, and FBI and the Coast Guard, and many folks come aboard to train, so we're always looking to do other opportunities there. We do a lot of educational opportunities we're starting a program on board with the school district of Hillsborough County, where the kids we're going to have a maritime magnet school aboard, and they're going to study the American Victory and really learn about how special she was in winning the war, and her history and her propulsion. And we also have outreach groups to different troubled youth or urban youth or other activities where we want to bring a whole new audience to the American Victory.